All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So good morning, everyone. My name is Jordan, and I'm a staff member in New Student Family Services, and we are excited to do our second week of the SOAR webinar series. Before we turn it over to our presenters, I just wanted to cover a couple of housekeeping rules. So just so everyone knows, all of you are muted and your cameras are turned off, so we cannot see or hear you. So please do not worry about that. During the presentation, we won't be using the chat function for participants to ask questions. So if you do have questions, please throw those in the Q&A function, which you'll see on the bottom of your screen. And we will get to those at the end of the presentation with as much time as available. We also know that some folks requested captioning for the presentation, and unfortunately the Zoom application doesn't offer that. So we did want to let you know that a recording of today's session will be available on YouTube, hopefully later today, with the captioning available there. So if you do need additional follow-up with that, please look for that recording, which will be linked on our website. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our presenters. So please welcome some staff from our School of Data Science.
Thank you. This is Doug Haig, and I am the Executive Director for the School of Data Science, and we launched the school last January. And we are excited to offer the first bachelor's degree in data science in North Carolina starting this fall. So we'll go through a little bit and try and answer many of the questions that were pre-submitted from you, as well as hopefully more information that will allow you to do this. So thank you very much for coming today, and we're very excited about the launch of the school and the bachelor's degree in data science. So we are the only one in North Carolina. We are actually a combination of 4 colleges. Data science is very interdisciplinary, and we work across many different disciplines, including the College of Computing, the College of Business, the College of Health and Human Services, as well as the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And we combine a lot of the different fields together through the use of data, enabled to be able to predict and understand and really improve all these different areas. So our program, we've had master's degrees for a while, but we are launching this undergraduate program, which I'm excited to say, and it will predict or will allow all students to be able to learn a little bit about programming, a little bit about statistics, and really become innovators in the field of data science. So I will actually introduce our panel today. So we have Carly Mahedi, who is our Director of Student Services. She is with us today and will be speaking next. We also have Dr. Angela Berardinelli. She is teaching our first class that we'll talk about, and we'll talk a little bit about this class in a little bit because it's very exciting to me. And we also have Josh Hertel, who is the Director of the School of Data Science. So we'll hear from all of these panelists here very shortly. Okay, so our program, I'll kick this off, but then we'll open it up to others. You know, we are, the degree is designed to teach our students about data science, but also in the domain of social sciences. So we really blend things, and we actually have built a degree to be a great option for freshmen as they come into the program, as well as transfer students that are coming in and will be able to finish this. It does combine a lot of the things that you will learn, right? You'll learn about how to program. You don't have to have any programming capability as you're coming in, but interest in learning how to program. It is not computer science, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But it does, you know, you will program a computer. We use data analysis. There's also a lot of statistics, but you don't have to have a lot of background to come in to the program. Also, the ethics surrounding the field of data science. There is a lot of questions. You know, we want to make sure that the students know how to ask the question of should we be doing this, not just can we do this, because there's a lot of things that, you know, are on the edges of the ethics, and we want to make sure we do the right thing as we're going through this. So with that, I think I'm going to ask any of the other panelists if they want to jump in and talk about jobs or anything else about the program before we move on.
Can maybe the faculty speak a little bit to more of what is data science and how is that different from computer science?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Dr. Angela Berardinelli. I am in the Department of Computer Science, but I am also involved in the School of Data Science, and I'll be teaching the first sort of flagship course for our data science undergraduate program. It's going to be taught studio style, even in spite of COVID-19. We've been working very hard to design an amazing course for the fall, and the you'll see on the syllabus for fall that I have a nice Venn diagram of data science is not just computer science. It's not just business and social science and the humanities. It's not just math and statistics. It's the intersection of all three of those areas. And so we've worked very hard in the School of Data Science to build a team of interdisciplinary researchers and teachers. And that's what makes data science unique from any of those fields individually. And as a discipline, it originally cropped up, mathematicians and statisticians thought we know how to do data science best. And computer scientists thought we know how to do data science best. And quantitative researchers in the social sciences and in biology, they all thought we know how to do data science best. But really, data science is best when we bring everyone together, everyone that knows about how to analyze the data, how to store the data, how to collect the data, how to clean the data, but also how to interpret the data and how to use it appropriately in business contexts and really just out in the world. And so that's how we've designed the entire program, and all of the specific data science courses that you take will involve all of those disciplines. So it's a very unique blend of different styles. It's not just computer science. It's not, so computer science is very theoretical compared to other computing disciplines. It's still a lot of programming, a lot of hardware, but in terms of different computing disciplines, it's more theoretical than data science. It's more theoretical than information technology or engineering. And so you'll have less pure math and theoretical computer science courses and more applied statistics, applied data, really hands-on type stuff in a data science program compared to a computer science program.
Thanks, Angela. That's exactly right. The way I think about this is you use computer science and you use statistics as a tool to apply those to your passion. Whether your passion is sociology, whether it is philosophy, whether it is criminal justice, whether it is business, whether it is health, it's applying those tools of computer science and computer programming in particular, as well as the statistics to your passion. And let me give you a little bit more of a background, because there were some questions about this, about me. I spent 20 years in industry before coming to the university. So I hired this type of job and this role in many different places across different industries. So you can have, Joel's jobs called data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, research engineer, data science developer. Sometimes they're called impact analyst. A lot of times the word analyst is attached to this, whether it's a business analyst or an impact analyst or more. There were some questions about jobs and how the salary ranges are. And this is a data science degree like this at the undergraduate level, basically plays very similar to an engineer. So it's in the $60,000, $70,000 range as you're coming out of an undergraduate nationally. So obviously, we will measure that as our graduates finish ourselves, but that's the expected range for that. So let me go ahead and go on to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to hand this off to Carly to lead this, the pros of being a data science minor.
Yeah, so we are very excited that this degree is rolling out. It's something that we've had in the works for a while. We've had a very successful and continue to have a successful graduate program in data science, but we're finding that students have an interest and are wanting more of this skill set at an undergraduate level. So for those of you coming in, not that you'll be guinea pigs, but we're very excited to be walking through and kind of rolling this out together with you. But an option that will exist if you're interested in furthering your education and pursuing graduate studies is something called early entry. So what that means is you can pursue your graduate degree while you're still an undergrad. You can start taking courses as a senior that are graduate level courses, and you can double count those towards your undergraduate degree. Not that you have to, but it's a great option. You're going to gain a lot of technical skill set, but it's, as Angela mentioned, very focused on applied use. How do we take this information and use it? How do we really solve business problems, if that's the area of interest for you? Education, how do we look at education differently and find trends, whatever area or industry you're interested in. And as Doug mentioned, a lot of job opportunities. So we're seeing that data science as a field is estimated to have close to 12 million jobs nationally. So we're very excited about being able to produce some talent that will fill those jobs.
Yeah, thanks. And there are a lot of jobs even continuing through the COVID crisis. We got a job potential this morning that I will be forwarding out to our students. So this is a field in demand. I came out of this field in industry, and it just continues to grow across all industries. It kind of started in the technology industry and the finance industry, used a lot of data scientists, but now it's almost in every industry, not-for-profits, government entities, anywhere that there is data, which is essentially everywhere, you will learn how to use that to improve the opportunities that you care about.
And so how do you get started, right? Depending on where you're at in your studies, if you're a new freshman, if you're a transfer student, this program is designed to be accessible to all. Depending on what credits you might come in with, you'll have less, of course, to take. And I'll share with you in just a moment our plans of study, which show you all the complete course list of what you'll take to earn this degree. But again, we're rolling it out this fall, and we're thrilled to have the first 2 studio courses being taught. So those courses are called DTSC, Data Science, 1301 and 1302. If you've already attended a SOAR session, you've met with your advisors, and hopefully you've gotten registered. If you are interested in pursuing this program, or just starting with these studio courses and then deciding from there if you want to continue in the major or not, you'll want to make sure you sign up for these courses for fall. So again, they're found under data science as the subject and banner. They do have a co-requisite of statistics. So if you are bringing in stats credit, you're all set. You can register for these courses. If not, you'll need to register for statistics at the same time. I'm going to turn it over here again to Angela and let her talk a little bit more about the content and what she's got planned for the course this fall.
Hi, me again. So there are actually a team of 3 instructors teaching. I am one of them. So I'm from the Department of Computer Science, as I said before, but we also have a professor of sociology and a professor of philosophy. We're all coming together as a team to create this course. And so one thing I want to make clear is that it assumes you know absolutely nothing about programming or really any of the concepts that we cover. Don't feel like you're going to be behind if you come in as a freshman, or if you didn't have any computing in high school or anything like that. What we are designing for pure beginners at this point. We're starting at like, what is a computer? So don't feel like you'll be behind, or you're not ready, or you're intimidated by a bunch of words that we might have said on this call that don't make sense to you. That's not going to be a problem. But we will go through a lot of introductory computer science topics. You also will get credit for a sort of general education credit for a social science through this course. And so we go through some of the very basic ideas in introductory computer science or introductory social science to fill that requirement for you in your general education for your degree. And so the course starts out very basic, and then we build into an interdisciplinary sort of braid of how do we apply computing and statistics to problems in social science while considering ethical ramifications and how to frame everything that we're doing in an ethical way. And so all of that is coming together in the same course, and it's going to, as I said before, going to be taught studio style. So it's going to be very hands-on, not a lot of sitting there listening to me talk like you are today. This will not be the style. I don't teach with PowerPoint, so you'll never see me standing up there with a PowerPoint just reading bullet points to you. That's not how this course is going to be. So just to set expectations, we're starting at the very beginning, and it's going to involve a lot of work, but a lot of interaction on your end. It's not just sitting there listening to me say, this is how you program a computer, and hope you can figure it out on your own when you leave the classroom. And we'll have TAs to help as well. So you have 3 instructors and multiple TAs. It's going to be a very supportive and helpful environment. I'm excited to teach the course and to meet you all in the fall.
Thank you. And the last thing I'll add about this is that you can enroll in these courses as any major. So I know none of you are coming in as a data science major. Again, it is going to be available to declare this fall, should you decide to do that. But you should be able to enroll in these courses as long as you meet the math requirement of that statistics co-req or that stats math 4 level. And then again, hopefully you enroll and you enjoy it and you decide you do want to pursue the major. We'll help you with that process. If not, again, it'll be a great experience and it'll count as electives for any other major that you pursue. And it also meets that general education social science requirement.
And let me jump in a little bit as well. And we've talked about the math requirement and the fact that you have to take statistics, and that's true for this. But if you're not able to and you need to start in college algebra, there is a pathway to complete this degree starting in college algebra. You will take, a lot of your general education and your beginning math, your college algebra and your pre-calculus, your freshman year, but then you would jump into the studio class your sophomore year. So there are many pathways to get through this degree. I wouldn't call it an easy degree, but it's a fantastic degree to be able to do. And I'll give you a couple of examples of what data scientists do, right? So if you were tracking COVID-19 and all the daily infection rates or the cumulative infection or where it is, mapping it across the nation or where it is, the people that actually build those websites that show the data and where it is and what all that is a data scientist behind there. The predictions when they're predicting, whether we're going to meet, when we're going to peak and when we're going to start to decline, and the impact of wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, that is all data scientists behind this, to be able to understand that they're taking the data and making predictions based on that. The other data scientists, the ones that people talk about a lot, are autonomous driving. So when you're working through videos and trying to identify the different objects in videos, that's a data scientist behind it as well as trying to predict the markets in your stock market and understanding which stocks are going to go up and which stocks are going to go down. The other thing that I talk about is in your nonprofits, when you're doing an impact analysis, when you build a house for Habitat for Humanity, what's the impact of that family and how do they work through that? Now, of course, when you're doing that, there are all kinds of privacy issues and an understanding of the ethics of doing that. So that's why we teach the ethics and understanding and framing of the problem to make sure that we're working within the context of what's acceptable within society. Okay, I think we'll go on to the next slide and talk about the suggested course of study.
Yeah, so Doug, hopefully you're able to click on one of those links. These are both available on our website, and I'll direct that to you. And this presentation will be shared with you, so you have these links, but gives you an idea of what your schedule could and should look like, again, if you're considering pursuing this major. For any students that are, again, currently here or will be here in the fall, of course, you have myself to reach out to. You also have the Advising Center for Undeclared Students, the University College Advising, and those advisors are understanding of our major, and they're able to advise you on how to get started. So you'll see it, the first is this 2-year guide, which is designed to show you how to do the major in 4 semesters. This exact layout assumes that you come in as a transfer student with 64 credit hours and you've earned your associate's degree. That means you're not going to see any general education, you're not going to see any fillers. This is just what you need to do the degree program. So it's laid out by fall and spring semesters, and you'll see in the notes any pre or co-requisites that are taken into consideration for you. So this is year 1 and year 2, again, of a 2-year guide. You'll also see a 4-year guide, which shows a more traditional freshman style plan of study. So it's broken out into 8 semesters. We are adding what I'm calling a 3-year guide. So that is what Doug just talked about for freshmen who are not starting in statistics. So if you're coming in and you're placed into algebra or you're starting in algebra, There's absolutely a pathway for you. You'll start with algebra your first semester, freshman year, or first semester, I should say. You'll take pre-calculus in your second, and then you'll start that sequence of our first studio courses and statistics in your third semester. So again, that will be added to our website shortly. But hopefully these will give you an idea of kind of more a long-term plan, what your schedule can and should look like. And you can pull these again from our website, cross off the things you've already taken if you're coming in as a transfer student, meet with any of our UCall advisors, and they can help get you squared away for fall. Okay, thanks, Doug. So we can go on to the next. Oh, Doug, I think you're muted.
Yep, no, I think I hopefully you were able to see those 2- and 4-year plans of studies when I was moving around the share. So thanks, but let's go ahead and go to the next one. And by the way, if you do have questions, you're welcome to go ahead and type those, and we will answer those either as we go through or at the end. And we're close to the end, so if you want to start queuing your questions, that would be great. So with that, I think Carly.
Yeah, so I think that's a perfect transition into just opening this up for your questions. We want to make sure that we are answering any questions you came here today with. So again, our full curriculum is available. You'll see those plans of study on our website. And you'll also see in the new catalog, which is, I jokingly call that your Bible. When you come in, that is the policy that you are coming in under. So your academic year catalog is all of the requirements that apply to you. And you're under the catalog for the year that you're admitted to the university. So I'll turn actually over to our faculty to maybe talk a little bit more about the coding requirement.
Sure. So the question here is about what the requirement is compared to other data programs on campus. We do not, our introductory course in the first studio does not assume, as I said, any prior programming knowledge, and we will teach in Python, which is the language of data science. That is not what most other computing courses, introductory or otherwise, are taught using on campus. But you will be taking some other courses later in our computer science or computing college. So there is a 3-course sequence of programming, and you will take all 3 of those courses. The data science studio will count for the first one, and then you'll move into the second and third courses. So there is a significant component of programming. If you're thinking, I don't ever want to touch a keyboard, this might not be the program for you because you have to type a lot of papers and you have to do a lot of programming. But it's not the same as a data science concentration in the computer science major, which is really just a computer science major with a couple of data related courses under the concentration. This is purely coming at it from applied data science questions, and we're using programming as a tool to support answering those questions. It's not programming for the sake of programming. So that's the main difference, I would say.
Yeah, and let me ask a little bit about the curriculum. You can see the curriculum in our website, and if you want to go, this PowerPoint presentation will take you straight to the full curriculum. But also, if you just type data science at UNCC or .uncc.edu, that'll take you to the full School of Data Science website. But as I think about our curriculum, you know, it's about 1/3 in computer science. So we talk about it being a medium scale in the programming level. It's not, you know, hugely serious, but it does take some programming. It's about 1/3 statistics. So yeah, as you're looking and understanding the math requirements and that, and then it's the last one, the last third is really the domain. So where do you want to apply this? Whether it's at a nonprofit, whether it's at a business, a bank, you know, a technology company, or elsewhere within a government to understand, you know, what the government programs are impacting. All of those are jobs that they would be able to have, but it's about 1/3 computer science, 1/3 statistics, and then 1/3 of your domain. And there's plenty of room within the curriculum to be able to take several minor or 2 minors or another major. So you'll be able to have flexibility to apply and take a lot of classes in your passion as well as within data science.
Doug, one of the questions that we have from students a lot is around the area of sports analytics and opportunities there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we do have a couple of classes right now that are within the sports analytics realm. In fact, that's one of my personal passions. I do track and field analytics of high schoolers, right? So I have a lot of the data on the high school track and field and cross country and try and predict how runners are going to do from year to year and in different weather conditions and all that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit of a passion of mine. But the sports analytics we do have, and you know, that would be an elective in this course, and you'd be able to take that and understand, you know, where we're going. Like we had a class this summer. They spent a week working with the Panthers organization and understanding football. They spent a week with the Hornets organization and working on basketball. And then they spent a week on with ESPN this summer trying to understand, you know, how do the statistics pop up on your screen during a broadcast. So it's an interesting, you know, if you say, hey, this player hasn't scored for, you know, 6 minutes and 38 seconds, and he does that, you know, that's an average time in 3 games of the last 5. That kind of little tidbit is one of the things that you can learn how to do in one of these classes. So it's all fun, but that's another application that I didn't mention before versus the business applications is the sports analytics field that's really been developing over the last 5 to 7 years, kind of starting with Moneyball. If you've seen the Moneyball movie, that was a data scientist behind the scenes on the Moneyball, trying to find the best skill, best baseball player for the lowest price. So that's really permeated most sports now. And if you're a soccer fan, you can watch, you know, the little you know, how far has a player run across the field, and all that's the data science behind things, and you know, how tired are they, what's their average distance per game, that type of thing. All those statistics are done by people with this skill set.
And we will be covering it in the first studio as well.
And we're going to be covering it in the first studio.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
we're covering
maybe
a ton of different topics, applying data science to a bunch of different things, and sports is one of them. So
it's maybe
another passion of mine as well.
Yeah, while we're waiting for questions, please feel free to type questions, because we are continuing to talk, but we're happy to answer questions now. Maybe you can talk about other topics that you plan to cover very briefly in the studio.
Sure. So in the first course, we will be, like I said, we have a lot of introductory content to get through at the beginning, but we'll be applying data science to the US Census, to education, to healthcare, to demography, to sports. I feel like I'm missing 1 or 2 others, but it does really spread across a lot of different disciplines and topic areas. So hopefully something for everyone, even in just the first semester.
So the first studio and some of the studios will cover abroad. This is kind of a survey. What's available within data science, and you get a taste of a lot of different things while you learn how to code, and while you actually figure out, you know, when you take a statistics class, what does it mean in the real world? That's what you'll be finding out in these studio classes, which makes it very exciting to me. So you just don't learn that, hey, here's a standard deviation or here's a histogram, but what does it look like with real data? And can you see, you know, the implications of that as you're working with these data sets in these particular areas that Angela was highlighting? Dr. Berardinelli.
Doug, we had a student ask about the business analytics major in the College of Business, how that might overlap, if it made sense to double major. Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
side versus computer science?
I saw that question, and I looked at it yesterday. So there's not a lot of overlap between business analytics and our data science curriculum. There's some statistics. The first statistics class is overlap. Calculus is an overlap. So a little bit of the math overlaps. But the rest of the courses and the first programming class overlaps. But other than that, in the business analytics, you're taking more marketing and econ and time series. And in the data science, we're more focused on the more stats, as well as more computer science. And then also the domain topics that you'll be taught will be different, although you'll be able to apply them to a business situation as well. So the business analytics is very focused on business. The data science is, more overlapped with statistics and the computer science, actually. So there's a couple questions here. So I'll try and answer the first one. Is it possible to access a 2-year and 4-year plan of schedule? Yes, it is. It's actually on the website. If you go to datascience.uncc.edu into the undergraduate, and then you look in the schedules, these plans of studies are actually on our website. So feel free to do that. Majors with overlap with the data science degree. The computer science degree does have some overlap. We've looked at that. There's, as Angela was talking about, there's a lot more theoretical, hardcore, what I call hardcore computer science degrees, deep into the theory and how a computer works, where, the data science is really taking the computer as a tool and how do you apply that. The other one that has a little bit of overlap is the statistics and the math degrees. So there'll be some overlap in that, as well as that you'll be able to double count if you wanted to double major in computer science. And I think we did look at it. There's probably 30 hours. If you're taking the full computer science degree, I think there's about 30 hours of things that you would have to take in addition to get a double major in data science. I haven't looked specifically on the statistics degree, but it's probably similar or maybe slightly more than that. Because the studio courses are the key for the data science degree, and there's 24 credit hours of that has to be taken that's not in any other major. Okay, any other questions that we may have had? Let me say one other thing that here comes the question, but the credit hours in our degree, there are 55 required credit hours. That's about half of your overall degree. You do have to take some general education requirements over and above the 55 credit hours, but you have plenty of room. There's like 30 or 35 credit hours that are free electives. So that gives you plenty of room to think about other minors and even a potential major, especially if you come in with some calculus or computer programming or statistics AP credit or something like that. You'll have plenty of room in your schedule. Okay, so the next question we have here is for classes that people may have already taken in high school, such as either honors or AP. Will they have to retake those classes throughout the course of the year? No, your AP credits do transfer in, and your honors classes, I don't think transfer in. If there's some IB, they may transfer some IB credits in, but it's mostly the AP credits. So the ones that would count directly into ours is obviously AP Calc, and I think AP Stat will transfer in as well, and that will reduce the requirements for that. The others, if you take AP History, APUSH, or any of the others, they often cover some of the general education requirements that would allow you to take more electives within the degree.
And if you're looking at your transcript and banner, so I know these might be all new words, but hopefully you are familiar with our banner self-service tool. That's how you register for classes. You can view your academic record there. You can look at your transcript, and at the top, you'll be able to see any transfer credits you're bringing in. So if you have community college credits, if you have AP, anything that the university has already for you, you'll be able to view. So you can take a look at your record, and if you think there should be credits there you don't see, talk to your advisor.
Okay, Carly, there's a question about who should we ask? Who can we email later for questions? And I think I'll let you answer that.
That's me. So again, I'm Carly, and I'm here to at least frontline answer your questions. Anything I'm unable to answer, I'll push on to someone who can. But my email, and I'll share this with you all, is cfletcher@uncc.edu. You can reach out to me anytime. You can also email us at our generic inbox, and I checked that as well. That is datascience@uncc.edu.
Yep, and so I just moved the screen to have those if you're trying to jot them down. And if you end up emailing me and emailing Josh, we'll try and answer, or we'll send it to Carly to answer. So there's our emails right there, and feel free to reach out to us. We love receiving questions. Okay, so I got a next question. All right, this is a master's degree in data science and business analytics already, so you're already our student. That's great. So what should I make? I'm pursuing, originally planning a double major in finance, but it was in business analytics, wasn't my data science. Business analytics don't overlap much. Yeah, so the finance and the business analytics will actually overlap more than the business analytics and the data science degree. So I guess I'm trying to understand the question, because if you're already pursuing a data science and business analytics, maybe that's what you want to pursue. I think any one of those degrees, you know, is great to be able to, as an entry level, and actually all of those can do the early entry. And Josh, maybe you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So, and I tend to work a little bit more with graduate programs with those. If the question is really, if you're thinking about doing a master's degree right after the undergraduate degree, we've got kind of a pretty good runway for you to do essentially what is a 4+1. So you can do both the master's and the undergraduate degree in 5 years. And the thing about the data science and business analytics master's degree is that we draw students from across the university. There's a really broad set of skills that come in. But you'd want to talk to Carly or myself about specific courses applying early entry for the DSBA Masters, which is there's a tremendous financial incentive for that. You can do up to 12 credit hours at the undergraduate level, and there's several other things that play into that, and double count those classes. So if you're thinking about that pathway, just shoot an email to me or to Carly, either one, and we'll walk through some of the options and how that works. For many of you, you may want to be keeping that in mind, particularly as you start getting into your junior year, if you want to consider going deeper into the field. Some of the more advanced concepts within that, the master's program or the graduate certificate for that matter, may be one that you want to consider for your professional growth.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. And yes, I think, you know, as you're thinking about the early entry, the finance, the business analytics, of course, I am biased to a data science major. So I would love for you guys to be in the data science major, but those other majors are fantastic as well. So I don't want to downplay them. There's a question here about the SOAR. When you went through SOAR, the Office of Undergraduate Admissions said that you can't declare a data science major yet, and that is absolutely true. We expect to be able to declare be able to open up the declaration process actually right about when classes start. So as you're enrolling now, any major can take these studio courses, and then if you like it and are interested, then you can change your major sometime in the fall. So as I said, this is a brand new degree, and we've got a lot of approval processes to go, and we have one left. And as soon as that's done, then we'll open it up to actually declaration of majors.
And let me just add that the major does exist, right? So there's no concern.
Major exists. Major exists. It's just, yes.
To declare. Yeah, it's more just kind of a housekeeping on our end. So we are working out the process of how to actually change over folks who want to be in the major. We will be available to help you with that process, and we'll share that information as soon as it's available. But you can register for these first studio courses as any major.
That's right. So there's no restrictions on the major on entering into these studio classes. In fact, even if you're just interested, we'd love to have you in the class, because we think that by the time that you get through this studio class, you'll love the major and you'll stay. But if you're just exploring, these are great classes because you get, you know, credit for the programming one, basically ITSC 1212, and you get a social science general education credit. So yes, this is a great class to explore, you know, what this field is and understand it a little bit more. So there's a next question about the 2-year and 4-year plan include general education, and yes, it does. They are marked in there. It talks about what are major requirements. Some of them, the math basically counts as your math requirements, but then the others we have laid out, and you don't necessarily have to do them in exactly that order, but generally, you know, taking the general education is in these the 4-year plan. The
4-year plan.
The 4-year plan. The 2-year plan assumes that you come in with an associate's degree, which actually takes care, if you have an AS or an AA, that actually counts as all of your general education requirements, and you don't have to take any further general education. If you're a transfer student after the first year, then that's where we work with your advisor, and we will actually plan that out with you so that you can have a plan that will meet all the requirements. Carly, anything else on that?
Yeah, no, that you're exactly right, Doug. So again, the 2-year assumes that you do not need any gen ed. If you have questions about what you may or may not need, the university advising, the UCall advisors can do a gen ed check, let you know if you need anything. So we would essentially overlap anything needed with the 2-year if you're a transfer student. The 4-year guide includes all of the gen ed, and what we're calling the 3-year guide will also as well.
Okay, yeah, and there's one other thing. If you happen to be from Wake Tech and have an associate's in applied sciences, please talk to the Wake Tech department and as well as us, and we have got a plan that's laid out for you to be able to complete in 2 years with any of their data science and computer science and business analytics AAS. Okay, will I be ill-prepared for a master's degree in data science if I only take a major in business analytics? The answer to that is no. You'll be prepared very well. It's just a different preparation, right? You won't, like, as I said, there'll be a little bit less statistics, a little bit less computer programming in the business analytics, but you'll get more of the business. You'll understand marketing. You'll understand econ a little bit better than if you were in the data science major. So I would say either one is a fantastic for the data science and business analytics master's degree. And you can, both of these degrees, we have students come, well, not yet from the data science degree, but from the business analytics degree, we already have people doing early entry, and they are fantastic students. So it does prepare you well as well. Josh, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I would just say that for the graduate programs, we have students who are coming to us from psychology, sociology, business, computer science. Part of the thing that really makes data science so fascinating is that it is this interdisciplinary, as Angela was talking about earlier. It is an interdisciplinary venture. It requires folks with ability to do critical thinking, to evaluate bias, to understand the complexity of data, that it's not simply ones and zeros. So, and then where you take that, I think has been an important theme for today, that there's a variety of domains that you can reach into with the degree. I would also go back to one of the other comments about taking the DTSC courses early on. Even if you do not become a major, you don't move into the major for data science, the importance of data literacy for any field that you're going to be working in, understanding the basics of how data moves will be a huge leg up for you in your professional endeavors. So that's part of the reason why we say that this course is open to all. That's what it's meant.
Thanks for the reminder of that, John. And we are working with many of the industries across the state and on a curriculum on digital skills. It's what they call digital skills, and they really want this digital skills for everyone. And this course, these studio courses, basically actually cover most of what they're looking for. So even if you go into a different major, this digital skills, the fact that you've taken a data science studio, and you can highlight that on your resume, because that shows that you're able to do and have the skills and knowledge that these corporations are looking for. So it's a great course, and I love it, and I would encourage you to take it. You know, we look forward to seeing you in the fall if you do. I haven't got any other questions. Please type them. If we don't have any, oh, there we go. What software is used in the business analytics courses? Okay, I've heard that Splunk is a very popular data processing software. So Angela, maybe you can talk about Splunk, and then I'll talk about business analytics.
Oh, I haven't heard of it, so it must be a business thing.
So Splunk is I've heard of it. We don't use it a lot. Data processing software, it is one of those. There are literally thousands of software packages out there. We use packages as we do that, but we don't necessarily, most of our coding is going to be in Python, as well as learning Java. You may learn a little bit of R, but I don't think in the undergraduate program you'll learn much R. You
We're
might.
going to start R in the second
Okay,
studio.
we'll start R in the second, so you'll learn 3-4 languages, because you'll also learn SQL at some point in there. In the business analytics courses, you're gonna use Excel, you're gonna use Tableau, you're gonna use some of the other you know, user-friendly, what I would say, user-friendly software packages, whether that's you know, like, as I said, Tableau, ClickView, some of the others. There's what's called a visualization software, and you'll use many of that in the business analytics courses. Okay, I think that's it. Any further questions? If not, I think we'll turn it back over to Jordan.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, thank you everyone for your participation today. Like we mentioned, a recording of today's presentation will be on our website later this afternoon or early next week. So if you need to come back to the information, that's a quick place to review. But thank you all for participating, and thank you to our panelists for being a part of our inaugural SOAR webinar series. And so we wish you all the best for your rest of your summer, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you all. Data science.
Everyone.
Thanks all.
Yep, bye.
Bye.